The Force manifests itself in mysterious ways. Sometimes mystical planets or entire realms or dimensions seem to have special connections to the Force. Today I'm going to talk about those especially mythical places that are, in many ways, unexplainable. The Wellspring of Life was the homeworld of midichlorians and arguably the birthplace of the Force itself. According to Qui-Gon Jinn, it was one of the origin points for all life in the galaxy. The Force guided Yoda to the Wellspring near the end of the Clone Wars, and he found it in the deep core at the heart of the galaxy. The exterior of the planet appeared lifeless, covered in cracked rock, but light exploded out of it, and venturing through the light to the interior of the world revealed floating islands covered in life. The Wellspring was a light-side vergence in the Force and was the home to a group of Force priestesses who guided Yoda through training that would allow him to maintain his consciousness after death. During his travels across the planet, he confronted and accepted the darkness within himself. Sophros was a world of legend to the galactic explorers of the High Republic era. It was located in Wildspace, a region of the galaxy considered to be off the edge of the map, and was less traveled than even the unknown regions. Hyperspace prospectors called the world Planet X. An explorer named Radicaz Dobbs and his partners discovered it and retrieved a strange egg from Sophros, which hatched into a creature called a Shrieker, also known as an Eater of the Force. Sophros was immensely strong in the Force and sustained the Shrieker who fed off of it. But when removed from their home, they became ravenous and would attack beings like Jedi, literally sucking the life out of them. A group of marauders called the Nile captured several of the creatures to use against the Jedi during the High Republic era, which also caused a devastating blight to spread across the galaxy, turning entire planets to dust. The Jedi worked to return the captive beasts back to their home to heal the galaxy, and there they found a world full of strange and terrifying life. When Sophros was in balance, it was able to enhance any being's connection and abilities through the Force. When it was out of balance, its wildlife lashed out at anyone who dared set foot there. The surface of the planet was connected to the light side, and the interior was connected to the dark. The Shrieker worked to maintain the balance between the two, which kept the blight at bay. In the end, 2 Jedi remained on Sophros to help the Shrieker recover, and they successfully healed the galaxy of the blight. Mortis was a strange realm apparently located within a mysterious obelisk. During the Clone Wars, Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Ahsoka Tano found it thanks to an ancient distress call in Wildspace. The obelisk opened up with light and pulled them inside. There they found a world that rapidly changed with the light of day and the dark of night. Mortis was the home of 3 immensely powerful beings called the Force Wielders. The daughter was a being aligned with the light side of the Force, the son was aligned with the dark, and the father struggled to keep the balance between his 2 warring children. The realm was described as a fulcrum for the entire galaxy and a conduit for the Force itself. Anakin was summoned there to replace the father's important role of keeping the balance, and he proved that he was powerful enough for the job. But the Jedi's presence on Mortis sparked further conflict between the son and the daughter, which led to the deaths of all 3 Force Wielders. With their deaths, a flash of light returned Anakin's friends to their own realm, as if no time had passed at all. Peridea was a planet located in the far galaxy, well outside the primary galaxy of Star Wars. It was only reachable through a very powerful hyperdrive or by joining a migration of space whales or Purrgil. It was the homeworld of the Dathomiri, who were more commonly known as the Nightsisters in the known galaxy, having established a kingdom on the planet Dathomir. Little is currently known about Peridea, and I'm not sure we could refer to it as a realm of the Force on the same level as Mortis, Sophros, or the Wellspring of Life, but it certainly has a connection to Mortis. A set of statues depicting the father, the son, and the daughter were located on Peridea, and a blinking light in the mountains could be related to the monastery where the father once lived. It's possible Peridea could be the realm of Mortis, and the obelisk was some sort of teleportation device. We don't know the full story yet, but Baylan Skoll referred to it as a land of dreams and madness where children's stories come to life. The world between worlds was an immensely powerful realm of the Force. According to Darth Sidious, it connected all of time and space, creating a conduit between the living and the dead. The Sith Lord sought to control it, which would allow him mastery over all of existence. The world between worlds appeared as a series of bridges that connected doors to different planets. It was also referred to as the vergence scatter, which suggests each door was connected to a vergence in the light or dark side of the Force. It seemed to have a strong connection to the Mortis gods as well. The door to the world between worlds on Lothal was accessed by interacting with a mural of the powerful beings, and inside an avatar of the daughter could be found in the form of Morai the Convor. Ezra Bridger used the world between worlds to save Ahsoka Tano from certain death during her duel with Darth Vader on the planet Malachor. While the vergence scatter allows beings to access other times, I do not believe it truly allows them to alter the events of the past. The world between worlds also seems to allow for communication between beings across the galaxy. Ezra on Lothal spoke with Yoda on Dagobah, another planet with a vergence in the Force, in a realm that resembled a piece of the world between worlds. Hyperspace was known to be an alternate dimension that allowed for travel across the galaxy faster than the speed of light. For a technology that was widely used, it was largely unknown. It was called a mystery more profound than gods and demons. What's more is that there is absolutely evidence to suggest that it has a connection to the Force and the world between worlds. On Lothal, Ezra Bridger and the rest of the Ghost crew were guided from one side of the planet to the other thanks to Lothwolves. Those creatures were strong in the Force, and during the journey, the Ghost crew experienced something similar to a hyperspace tunnel. They may have even walked through the world between worlds. That makes some sense because that realm existed outside of space as we know it. Maybe all of hyperspace uses the world between worlds to some degree. Perhaps hyperdrives are a technology that harnesses the power of the Force itself, and hyperspace is its own dimension within the Force. The afterlife in Star Wars had many names, including Chaos and the Mist Beyond, but most commonly it was referred to as the Netherworld of the Force. It was thought to be where the spirits of all life traveled when their physical bodies passed away and they returned into the cosmic Force. However, it was possible for beings aligned with the light side of the Force to learn to maintain their consciousness after death. Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Qui-Gon Jinn, Anakin Skywalker, and his children Luke and Leia all learned to become Force ghosts. While their existence within the afterlife was described as a paradise, just like with all things in the Force, there was a dark side as well. During Anakin's time as Darth Vader, he became obsessed with bringing his wife, Padme, back from the dead. His fortress on Mustafar was built to form a bridge to the Netherworld. It was designed by a long-dead Sith Lord named Momin, whose spirit manipulated Vader and successfully resurrected his long-dead body. Vader destroyed Momin and then entered the Netherworld himself, walking through the spirit realm. There he saw specters of his past and even a vision of the future before he was sent back to his own dimension. This next one has been described very little, but I believe the Nightsisters of Dathomir might have access to their own realm through the use of their dark side magic. Mother Talzin dissipated into a ghostly existence and had to be brought back through a ritual. The Nightsisters seem to have their own spiritual afterlife on Dathomir, but perhaps the most telling is the descriptions of their teleportation powers seen through Merrin. She describes using her magic to make herself invisible, and then she is able to rush to another part of a battlefield inhumanly fast. The magic of Dathomir is certainly powered by the dark side of the Force, and the Nightsisters seem to make use of their own realm in both life and death. Perhaps their abilities in teleportation were also linked to the world between worlds, similar to hyperspace. Those are all the canon realms of the Force I could think of, but I wanted to mention one more from Legends. I don't know that it's necessarily a realm or dimension within the Force, but the novel The Crystal Star featured an interdimensional being called Waru who was from a parallel universe. But moving back to canon, I did want to make mention of worlds like Dagobah or Ahch-To. Some planets that were strong in the Force or home to vergences also exhibited strange time-bending qualities. Reference guides compared both of those worlds to Mortis and the fact that Anakin and his friends spent much longer there than they appeared to back in their own galaxy. I would not call Dagobah or Ahch-To separate realms within the Force, but their strength in the Force seems to give them realm-like qualities. But that's it for today. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on our socials, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.